therefore, that is what happened. Persons want to build the ego. The ego is like a big balloon, or it's a little collapsed balloon, but every time you get praised, every time you get honored, every time we become applauded, every time we are celebrated, every time we are in some way given something which is useful or valuable, maybe jewels, or maybe a bangle, or maybe a car, and maybe a gift. But every time we get something, we feel uplifted because we feel greater than we were because we didn't have it before. Now we've got it. And the more we accumulate, one car, 3-4 cars, some comedian, Jerry Seinfeld, I think that's 76 Porsches. What does he do with them all? He only got one body to drive them. So it goes for a different day. What is the pleasure there? So the idea that I have more Porsches than anybody else in the world, probably. And if somebody else comes to match it, he'll get another 25. That is happiness? That's madness, not happiness. So, but that's the way many people live, in the idea that they are better, superior, higher, greater, grander, bigger than others. And in that material, false, fictional, illusory bigness, which I say illusory because it disappears. You die, it's gone. Or it gets too old, it's gone, get a new one. So things are coming and going, coming and going, coming and going, and they bring no delight to the wise, because the wise person wants happiness that will remain with him now and forever. In the spiritual world, everyone was always happy. That is the nature, because Krishna is always reciprocating, giving back to his devotees. Krishna doesn't need food, he doesn't need our clothing, he doesn't need shelter, he doesn't need jewels, he doesn't need money, he doesn't need any of these things, but he accepts them because they are given with love. Because they are given with love, that's his food. Krishna eats love, and if you give it, but it has to be unconditional. It can't be material, it can't be conditional in the sense that I give you this, Krishna, you have to give me that. You give me, I give you. No, none of that. Krishna doesn't want that. Because pure love is sweet. Pure love is enjoyable. Pure love is uplifting. Pure love causes us to want to share anything and everything that we have which we consider to be opulent or valuable or purposeful or useful. We just wanted to give out so that others can be as happy as we are. That's the idea. So that's what Lord Chaitanya wanted, that's what Krishna wants, that we should all be happy, and we should depend upon his mercy. If we depend upon his mercy, when he gives us his love, we cannot help but feel enthusiastic and determined. When you feel the joyfulness from within, there are different symptoms of this joyfulness, by the way. Sometimes a person may be, he may be stunned. You can't talk, you can't do anything. But you'll see a picture like some of these around here. You see beautiful Lord Jagannath, and you're just oogle-eyed, and you're just stunned. Yeah. Or you might be perspiring profusely. Or you can't speak well, you're trying to speak, like in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya, he was trying to say Jagannath, but what did he say? Huh? Hello? You're getting close. Anyone else? Yeah, exactly, yeah. So he was trying to say the name Jagannath, but because his whole being was completely overwhelmed with such ecstasy that he couldn't make the sounds the way he wanted to. So it came out something like that's the way it came out. I mean, I wasn't there, so that's not an exact imitation. But I'm approximating it. And so that's what happens. So one may have difficulty speaking because of the fact that he's so overwhelmed and overfilled with this ecstasy, this happiness, this joyfulness. Okay? So other things, the color of one's skin, it may become very blanched, very white. One may become very tearful. Tears. Lord Chaitanya used to cry, but he would cry in squirts. So whoever was near there, if the tears fell on the ground, they would all dive to get the tears and rub them all over their body because they were so sacred and holy and adoring. So therefore, these are some of the symptoms that come when a person is experiencing ecstasy. It is complete, steady, undying, ever-increasing happiness. I already mentioned that material happiness is here today, or here this moment, and then dead the next moment, or dead tomorrow, or whatever. Not spiritual happiness, because it comes from a relationship between the devotee, or the servant, and the served. And the more pure, the more sweet, the more dedicated, the more devoted, the more overwhelming that service is. The Lord, in turn, responds in the same way, so that the devotee becomes literally showered by the love of Krishna. And all he wants, or who she wants to do, is give her love. And how do you give your love? You can give it by chanting the holy name, hearing the holy name, or hearing the books of Srila Prabhupada or the Srimad Bhagavatam. Chanting, hearing the books, remembering Krishna. You're walking in the street and you remember some different pastime when Krishna was, he was killing the Aghasura demon. Or maybe he was fighting with the Kaliya snake and dancing on the snake, on the heads of the snake, and creating the Bharatanatyam form of dance. And so these are remembrances which are purifying. If you have mud on your arms, for example, and you put your arm in soapy water and you do this, well, what happens? The mud comes off. So when we chant the holy name of the Lord, which is not different, it's not different than Krishna, it's the same. He's given us that grace. So just as you take the soapy water and do this, and the mud comes off, similarly when you chant Hare Krishna, what's happening is the dirt that surrounds the soul, which prevents us from experiencing this ecstasy that I've been talking about, inner ecstasy, not external. So because of that, the result is that we never get to experience real, deep, true, undying, eternal happiness. And that's what we really want. Everyone, after they finish some pleasure, they want to go to another pleasure, because we all know that we're supposed to be happy. How do we know this? Because in the eternal world, we were always happy as long as we were serving Krishna. When we came to this world, we became like fish out of water. Now we all may have seen fish kind of on the surface of the water, and you see these big bulging eyes looking out, and it sees that gorgeous sky, maybe when the sun is going down, and it all looks so beautiful. So the fish jumps up out of the water, and then jumps on the dock, and then thinks that he's going to really enjoy that sunset or that sunrise. And what happens? He can't breathe, because he breathes with gills. He doesn't breathe with nose and lungs. So he starts doing what? Flip-flop, 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 and finally he tries to get back into the water, where he can breathe. Similarly, as Lord Chaitanya says, Jivera Swarupahoy Krishneda Natya Das. The constitutional position of the living entity is to be what? An eternal servant of Krishna. That's us. But as soon as we choose not to do what we are constitutionally meant to do, which is to serve Krishna, and instead want to serve... What's that? Yeah, sure. I didn't see it because it was facing the wrong direction. Thank you. Okay, I'm being warned. It's past 7:30. Am I supposed to stop now? What happens if I don't? What are you going to do to me? If Radhanath can do it, I can do it. Seriously, I don't like being stopped when I'm warming up everybody. Especially it's a little cool and the radios are not working. So how many would like me to go on a little bit more? I'll tell a story and then we'll end it, okay? All right. How many want to see? Okay. I'm just trying to wrap it up with the understanding that every one of us is meant for transcendental bliss. It's not for only, the guys with the shaven heads. In fact, my host here, he didn't have to shave his head but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether he has hair or doesn't have. He performs devotional service practically 24 hours a day. He does it at where he works. He does it on the street. He goes out and distributes books even though he has a family. This is wonderful. Anyone who's devotional services anywhere you are. For example, if you see a piece of paper or some flower lying on the floor there, you're going to leave it there so that when the doors open, Krishna has to see what we call refuse lying around. You don't have to have the job. You don't have to be paid. You see it, you pick it up and put it in your pocket, you find the first trash can, you throw it in there. That's the nature of a person who has loving devotional service. It's not like it's a drudge. It's not like it's a heavy duty deed. It's not like I'm doing something good for Krishna. Krishna is giving me the opportunity to serve him. Thank you, Krishna, for leaving that piece of junk or paper on the floor. Now I can pick it up and say, this is for you, Krishna. And so everyone here, whatever you do, wherever you are, when you're cooking for your food or you're driving your car, any action that we perform, as Krishna says, therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. And at the same time, perform your prescribed duty of fighting with your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me. You will come to me without a doubt. Isn't that wonderful? He says, you just think about me. So, when you're peeling your potatoes, just say, this is for you, Krishna. Okay? When you're squeezing the oranges, this is for you, Krishna. When you're mopping the floor, this is for you, Krishna. Make every action of your life a sanctified action, a holy action, so that it's not merely a drudge, it's not merely a waste of time. Make it something spiritual. And Krishna tells you how to do. Always think of me. Become my devotee. Worship me. Worship me. Offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without a doubt. I promise you this because, why? You are my very dear friend. We are all Krishna's dear friend. But some of us have ignored him. Some of us have misdirected our energies. Some of us have given up thinking of him. So Krishna is telling you, you want that inner joy that this sadhu here, the Swami